on your top? Oh, is
Believe.
that worktop? Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, it's my worktop. Yeah. Um, are we live yet? Done. Redirecting to YouTube. I think we're live.
How
Okay.
exciting.
So, yep, we're live.
Yep, we're
Right,
going.
we're back. We're live. It's Sunday. Wasn't going to do this today. Savo convinced me that we needed to do it today. Shall I hit record?
Why
Record
not? Why not?
to this computer. Right, we're
Yeah,
definitely back now. We're definitely
it
back
is
now.
my fault. I dragged Sam into this. He fancied a night off, bless him. And I said to him, "How about if I pop on as a little guest host to interview perhaps Julian from Chauvin, who was missed his slot last week, and unfortunately Julian can't make it. But I do want to have a chat with him because he's a very interesting person. So let's see if we can get him on in the future.
It's
But
been it's
I've
been a bit of a
dragged
weird
Sam
one.
in tonight.
Oh yeah. So right, listen. Wasn't going to do it. I'm here, so we're going to move on. I'm going to try and stay positive. Although this is going to be a bit of a whiny podcast, I reckon, because I'm feeling very hard done by at the moment. However,
Two miserable old
now
men on a Sunday night.
I
But
know I am that
yeah,
old man
yeah.
now. So just quickly, Navitas, my favourite fuse board company, my favourite fuse boards. Will and the crew over there are incredible. They're doing stuff that other fuseboard companies aren't doing to get recognized. Go and check them out. They do. You can buy all their stuff direct from them. You can use ESK10, I think, and that will get you a discount. I'm sure if you look in the show notes, that will all be in there. Head over to their website. You can get it all straight from them, and you can get it on tick. And yeah, it's just the same as going to a wholesaler, except you get incredible service, you get incredible knowledge, and you get an incredible product. Pound for pound, the best fuse boards. I personally won't use anything else. Even if I have to put the job off now, I will only use the Navitas board because this week, where I'm working away, I've been using Luden boards. Mate, we're going to get into why Luden boards are not great.
Oh,
Anyway,
are we? Oh, I was installing Luton boards. I thought they were all right.
no, they are fucking crap. Honestly, like
Oh, you're entitled to your opinion, of course. Although,
no, they are. Compared to the Navitas, they're doo-doo brown. Simple.
I'm going to try Navitas as my next board.
They're
Um,
just well made, put together well. They just do what they say on the tin properly. You don't have to piss around putting the lid on, like stuff like that. You know, like that usual shit that you have to do where you've got to try and line everything up and then you've got to click the lid on and then it clicks on. It's just a pain in the ass. The Luden board, you know the bit that holds the cables. The main incomer cable, and then you tighten it up. You actually have to build that bit all yourself. Fucking long.
you're talking about like the tails clamp that goes on
Yeah,
the. Oh, I always took that in the fucking bin. I never fit those damn things.
yeah, but you have to listen. If you're working with someone else, you have to put it in. They come with these two little screws. Lose one every single time. Now you've got to root around looking for that. That is just long. I'm not doing it. One thing they do have, which I think's a little bit. I don't know if it's better or not, right? They have a square opening and a square grommet that comes with it in the
Yes.
top. I don't know if I prefer the square over the circle.
I've got lots of those sort of grommet knockouts on the van because I was fitting Luton stuff, and since Denmans have disappeared, there's nowhere that has them readily on the shelf, which is why I'm going to.
But
Well,
do you
I'm
prefer the
going to
square or the circle?
well, I don't mind necessarily. They both have their applications,
I think the square works better.
as long as you
That's
don't
the
have any
one win for
arsehole
the
in
Luden.
edging it off. Can you edge it off?
I'm not edging anything off. Okay. I'm not in the mood for that. No, I just think that's like that square thing in the top. I think that wins. I do think that wins. I like the placement of their 32 mil grommet with their 32 mil knockout just above. I think that's good. Is this boy about fusibles? Get on
We're
with something
boring
more
Ryan at
interesting.
RLF.
How about RLF vacuum cleaners goes and fixes some vacuum cleaners and fucks right off. Um,
He's in a bad mood tonight, Ryan. So don't rile him up for goodness
Oh,
sake.
he's such a
I
div
had to drag him
anyway.
in. He's been working all day, bless him. Working all weekend. Have you not been?
Mate, this is the thing. This is the thing. So yeah, no, I'm a big fan of that Luton Square. Definitely a big fan of the Luton Square. Um,
Well, I got a million of them. I'll send them to you.
no, don't bother. Because after I've got another three, six. I've probably got another 12 boards to fit this week. All Luton. Not through my choice. Sort of gets to the point. So I've been working away in Luton. Um, doing a halfway house type refurb. Um, it's like 11 hours a day and all that sort of stuff. Binned off the screen thing from the last two podcasts. Do you know what? I quite liked it. It was something I was trying, but if you guys prefer this, I will go for it. Sorry, it's for the audio listeners. I was just reading the bloody. Do you know what? Let's just get on with it. Um, so yeah, I've been working up in Luton doing that, and it's just been hell on earth because obviously I'm still trying to keep my business going. So booking everything for Saturdays and Sundays, and I booked this one job where I've had to do loads of little bits in an empty flat, and it's just gone wrong. Literally gone wrong in every respect. I thought I'm gonna get so I've got I put in a load of spotlights, but they had existing wall lights that they wanted to work at the same time. So what I
Okay.
thought, I'll put in all the spotlights. I'll then do hickory technical stuff with a couple of kinetic switches, and then have two-way intermediate kinetic switching going on with
Okay.
two receivers. Do you know how hard that is to make work,
Pretty simple, isn't it? After well,
bro?
you just pair the switch to whichever relevant receiver, and bingo bongo, off you go.
Yeah, you would have thought so. But every time I paired it to that one would switch both of them, and then I'd reset them two, and then I'd put. Oh, mate, I
What brand
spent.
were you using?
Ah, well, this is the thing. I think I am going to have to change brands. It's called Connect, Kinetic. What you get them in Eddie's and Electric Center.
Okay, I've not had the pleasure. I like these little ThinkBee ones that I buy off Amazon,
Do, do you
which
know
are
what? Apparently, they're the ones.
they're great because the receivers are tiny. You can get them into a whisker box.
Apparently, they're the ones like these Think Big because I know a few people who use them. Do they have the two? Can you get a two gang switch?
Yeah, you can get two gang and three gang, one, two, or three.
And
And
they're
you
not even
obviously
dear, are they?
no, I just had one delivered from Amazon just 15 minutes ago, ready for a job
I
coming
think
up this
I'm going to
week.
order up some of them because like
I don't like having to rely on the likes of Amazon, but and they do have a lot of shonky shite on there. I'd rather have a relationship with my local wholesaler. But the trouble is, the cities they're selling Energy and
yeah.
just a bit clonky.
It's why is the receiver so big though? The NJ
Mm.
receivers are so big you can't get them in any boxes, even in a whisker box. Like you can barely get it in a whisker box. That's no good to man or beast.
Well, I've been fitting
So
these ThinkBees for years, never had any problem with any of them. I only had one receiver fail, but that was because water got into some busted box. Um, but otherwise, they're rock solid.
yeah, I think I'm gonna back these ones back to Eddie's. Well, Electric Center, it's all the same. This Connect stuff because honestly, it should have been the most simple part of the job. It's the reason I didn't finish the job today was because I couldn't get them pairing properly.
Yeah,
It's
it's always a pain when you get something like that.
it's nightmare. It's just a pain in the ass. And that so I just needed three switches to switch two receivers each side, three two gang receivers to switch. No, three two gang switches to switch two receivers, and it would not do it. It would not do it. The easiest part of the job would not do it.
Did you get it resolved in the end, or have you got to go
No,
back?
I
Okay.
could go back. And that's my second full weekend in that place. It's now costing me money. Like, in fact, I've lost money on that job. If you take it into labour, like, I've lost money on that job. And I could really do without that right now.
There's
So I've got to go.
no point dwelling on these things because if you
No, there
beat
isn't.
yourself up over it, then it's just going to drive you to drink.
I, but this is the thing, Savo. Like you say, there's there's so much. So I'm starting to get busy now, but I'm also working away, and I'm committed to working away. It's easy. You pair one receiver and disconnect it. And pair. Yeah, I know, mate. It should be that. You tried doing it for 3 hours and find out you can't do it. It killed me. Um, the So I'm getting busier. I'm getting lots of phone calls, and I'm not able to get to them all now because I'm working away Monday to Friday. Now that's going to come to an end. It has to come to an end in the next couple of weeks. Um, what's your situation saying?
Well, this is quite interesting because you and I seem to have the same sort of problem in that there seems to be too much work, and I know a lot of people are complaining that they haven't got enough, which I've not experienced. I've never had a winter like it. This has been the busiest winter I've ever experienced. And once Nigel left over a year ago, I thought, well, maybe I could go down to like 4 days a week or 3 days a week, or throw a bit more time at YouTube like old Bundy does. You know, he gets a day or two off every week to just concentrate on that sort of stuff. And we've been absolutely fecking rammed. I mean, we worked pretty much all over Christmas. Didn't have much time off, and I think it seems to be a combination of there's several big projects on. There's there's one place where I'm pretty much retained 1 day a week because there's so much work to do there, and it's like,
That's nice work though.
well, you kind of, but there any time when you've got a job that's like you're there for the day, you're being paid like a day rate, you feel like you've really got to put in your 9 to 5. I prefer my lazier method of working, which is, yeah, I might not give you all day, but I'm charging by the hour. So if I fuck off at 3 o'clock to go down the pub, you can't really moan too much, you know. But the trouble is, it's as your customer base expands, and obviously I've got a bit more time under my belt than you have, but there's a big and loyal customer base there, and you don't want to let anybody down because you know you've done work for them before, and or new people are coming in via recommendations because it's all word of mouth and that sort of stuff. So you don't want to let anybody down. But by the same token, it's just so hard to keep up. You feel like it's just a slog all the time. For every job you clear, another two seem to get added to the list. And it doesn't matter how many extra days you work. I've been working weekends as well. Doesn't matter how many long days you put in, how many jobs you tick off, you always come home to a slew of messages from disappointed people about when can you get this job done? Why haven't I had my quote yet? I'm still waiting for you. You looked at this 2 weeks ago and I haven't heard anything from you. It's just keeping on top of the messaging is very difficult. And to be fair, it's rather doing my head in
You
because I
know,
just feel like I can't please anybody.
it's funny. I wish I was in that position where mine is more. I'm committed to this stinking job in Luton. Like the geezer's done me a favour to give me work when I had nothing, so I've got to see it through. I'm at the point now where I don't want to see it through anymore because it's not worth. It's not worth me seeing it through. Really, I've just got to do it. Um, However, like my other work's starting to get busy, and then I say to someone, "Oh, I can be with you Friday afternoon." And they're like, "Oh, can you do Thursday?" And I'm like, "No, I can't do Thursday because I'm not in the area." And then that puts people off. And it's a weird one. It's like I've always said this: you can't subby and build a business at the same time.
No, and I'm not really interested in subbing out. I don't mind sort of passing jobs on to people I know in the area when I can. It's like I can't take this on anymore. But I tried to do that the other day. I've got this big refurb project on, and the guy just keeps trying to get me out there. And I'm getting too old for tracing walls and cutting up floorboards and that sort of stuff. It's not the kind of work I want to do anymore. So I really need
I
to
know
start finding some
I've
some
spent the
office time.
day today and yesterday fucking about in a loft space. Honestly, my back is killing.
Yeah.
I have the ultimate I have the ultimate knee pads. So like my knees are all right, but my back's killing. I'm tired, I'm fat, I'm too old. I can't be dealing with this loft
And you're an
business.
asshole.
Yeah. And it's all right if you do it now and again. But I can't, like, I've had to do it consistently. And then tomorrow, like tonight, I've got to be up at 4 o'clock in the morning to travel to Luton to get there for 7:30 because that's what time we start.
Oh,
Nonsense, really. Why am I doing that? It's just nonsense. Um, I
Yeah.
don't know what the long and short of it is really, but I do know. Like, do you find it affects your like? Let's not be a boring mental health podcast, but how is your mental health?
Yes, I find it is very damaging. And this past week, I know I had Linda working with me this past week. Good luck to Linda. She's on a course again for the next couple of weeks, but back at college. But I think I was dragging her down because I was such a miserable git. I'm like, oh, fuck's sake. You just get to the start of the day. We go out for a coffee at the start of the day, and I'm just there sitting there. I can't face this. I really cannot be doing this.
Yeah,
And this is the thing. I can't do this job for somebody else. I couldn't do it for somebody else, and I can't get someone in that I can hand any sort of role to because the likes of Linda or even the wife, they're always like, well, maybe we can do more. And it's like you can't really. It's all in my fucking head.
yeah,
I've got the job in my head. I know what I need. There's no way I can pass that on without still writing it down or whatever. Um, so it's a difficult one because it's hard to hand over control. But there comes a point I'm sort of looking at this year thinking, do I need to be an IC anymore? Maybe I can kick them out of bed now. There's no point in me being with them anymore. And if that makes the business sort of go to cock a little bit, if people lose confidence or if they stop using me or whatever, what's the worst that can happen? I can go and stack tins of beans on the shelf of Sainsbury's at 15 quid an hour. And at my age, it kind of appeals.
So, what are you saying at the moment then? So, what? How many hours a day are you working at the moment?
Not probably not nowhere near as many as you. I mean, I always approach this job as it should be a 9 to 5. I don't see
Right.
why being in the trades is any different to say an office job. So when you get people who expect you on site at 7:30 in the morning and clock off at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock at night or whatever, it's like this is why I used to avoid a day rate for years because my idea of a day could be quite different to
Yeah,
what the
for
customers
sure.
are over there. I once had an argument with someone. I did a job for someone. I started work at 9:15 in the morning. Um, had a lunch break for 45 minutes, no tea breaks, and was finishing at 7:15 at night. And she accused me of not putting a full day in. And I was like, what's your idea of a fucking
Yeah,
day?
yeah. How's that work then?
Yeah, exactly. So, if 9 to 5 is good for an office worker, I don't see why it's not for a tradesperson. And I appreciate that many tradespeople do start early. A lot of us do get out to site at 7:30, 8 o'clock. It's
My
not for
thing
me
is,
personally.
the pot. What I'm sort of noticing from my end of the trade is right when you get a job, the bigger jobs can drag you down very, very quick. So jobs over £1,000 can drag you down very quick if you don't get in, knock them out, boom, job done. They can drag you down quick. The £50 to 300 to 400 quid, up to about 500 quid jobs are really the sweet spot because you get in, get out, easy stuff. Generally, really easy stuff, in and out. Fuse ball swaps, in and out, stuff
Oh,
like that.
forget few sports spots. I like the minor work stuff at my sort of time of life. I want to be going out there changing a pendant fitting or fixing a socket or something like that.
That's the
70
cream.
quid call out every time. You do two or
Yeah,
three of them and then go, well, it's 12 o'clock. I'm binning the rest of the day off now.
that's exactly it. Like that's the sweet spot. That's when I'm at my happiest. Like I've grossly underestimated this job. Grossly underestimated it. I've done 3 full days on this job, and it's still not finished. I've probably got another full day, and I charged £1,500, and £600 of that was materials.
Yeah, but
That's a cock up.
these things happen. I remember doing that. It was over 10 years ago, and I worked it out in the end that I was getting about sort of 60 quid a day or whatever. But you've just got to take it as a learning curve and
You
realize,
do.
okay, what's the value for money for me out of this is how did it cock up and how can I make sure it doesn't cock up in that same way again?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's a stinger while it's happening, but if you can take something away from that other than annoyance, then
I
it's
don't
got
know.
value still.
Because the thing is, if you go in there and bang in like a 3 grand quote, you ain't getting a job. You go in there and bang in a 2 grand quote, you might get the job. But even when I banged in £1,500, there's like this, like that. Oh, can oh, we've only got 1,400 quid. And I'm like, well, you've got to drop things off the bill. Like, you've
Yeah.
got to drop things that you've got to lower your expectations.
But you don't go to a car dealership, do you, and say, "Oh, I really want this model with all its equipment, but I can't quite afford it. So what can you do for me?" It's like, well, you buy the cheaper version without the fucking
Yeah.
sat nav and heated seats, then, don't you?
But I think for me, and I've said this for a long time now, where I got myself in such a muddle over Christmas, and I mean that getting knocked, and then the merch, which is what we're going to get onto in a minute, and all that sort of stuff, that has just dragged me right down. Wholesalers, the whole lot. I'm in such a pickle with money and getting everything straightened out. I'm in a real problem. So I took that job out of desperation. And so that is where you really start making some dire mistakes. And I've said it for a while. Never make a decision from a point of desperation because you will fuck that up every time and regret it.
But this is the thing as well, isn't it? It was when life knocks you, sometimes it just keeps on knocking you for a good while, and you've just got to assume that hopefully you're going to get out of it. There's light at the end of that tunnel, and it's not going to be like this forever. You get your bad patch, and everything seems to coincide in that bad patch. But if you
Yeah,
can
it's
get out of
brutal.
it
It's brutal.
eventually,
I'm lucky that and this is why I'm not ditching this job, this Luton job, because I'm very lucky that come along, because that's been our saving grace, really. That and my parents. It's just been an absolute nightmare trying to claw your way out of this massive hole that I was dropped into. Work, I mean, where does your work come through? Is it legacy work or is it like new inquiries or what?
an awful lot of it is legacy. I've got this massive customer database, which stretches back obviously 12 years or so. There's probably thousands of customers on there, so a lot of it's repeat stuff. Well, once you've used the best, you don't try the rest. You know what I'm saying? But there's also a lot of referral stuff that comes from that word of mouth. And to be honest, it's very difficult. If there's someone who I know they're a good person, good payer, been a good customer in the past. If they contact me and they need something, I will, get them on the radar and try and do something about it. Although it might take some time to actually find a space in the diary to get out there. If it's a new inquiry coming in, even if it's a referral, sometimes I just don't even find the time to respond to them, which is wrong. And I remember years and years ago having a gas man in after we had a floor fitter put a nail through a gas pipe, and I remember asking him to quote for some extra work we wanted doing, and having to chase it and it just never coming back. And I said to my missus, "Oh, I'd love to have a job where you don't even have to. There must be so much coming in. You don't even have to bother answering messages or writing quotes for people." And here I am, and I
Do you know
fucking
what
hate
though?
it.
It's so easy to miss someone out. So easy.
Yeah, because you get messages in from so many different sources: WhatsApp, texts, social media, etc., email. Sometimes I just lose track of where that message has come from. Oh shit, someone called me or contacted me. What platform or medium was it on, and what were they asking? And you get with the best will in the world, because often the phone rings in the day, and if someone's paying me to do a job, I'll often won't answer it, and that's not because I want to ignore the person on it. It's because someone else is paying for my time right at that moment, and I think it's rude to just stand there for ages on the phone talking to somebody else. So I'll let it go to voicemail, and with the best will in the world, you think, right, okay, once I get 5 minutes, I'm going to check those voicemails and write them down and call them back. You get home and you're just knackered, and
Well,
the last
it's
thing you
fun.
want to do is catch up on more work. Sometimes I can be quite productive and go, yes, you know what, I'm going to sit down here and actually catch up on this stuff and get stuff booked in the calendar and get on top of it. And I feel better mentally myself when I do that. But most of the time, I'm just like, nah.
Mate, I'll tell you what, I've wasted so many hours in the last couple of weeks is like you finish work, like I'm working away and I'm staying at Airbnb and I get back and I am working hard, which is really rubbish. No one wants to work hard. You get home and I just get on, I lay on that bed, like get showered, lay on the bed, and I'm done. I'm done for the day. I don't have the mental capacity left in my body to do anything else, answer quotes. I can barely talk to my wife and child. I get the ump after I've talked to them because I want to be at home. My whole life's on hold. The toilet's not fixed from when the fucking drain filled up and then shit was coming out the shower and the sink. That was brilliant. I had to pay someone to come around and do that. Then that's still not fully fixed. Like there's no shit in the toilet and that. Um, but yeah, and I should be at home fixing stuff. I should be at home dealing with stuff in the evening, and really, I'm laying on a bed in Luton, looking at a shit ceiling as well, with my tablet, just watching. I don't know the latest.
Porn.
No, I watch this thing. Those who are about to die. It's all about the games in Rome and stuff. It's pretty decent,
Okay.
to be fair. And I'm sitting there watching that, and I'm like, I should be answering emails. I should be doing this.
Well, yeah, I know exactly what you
Can't.
mean. You can't. The thing is, uh, with this job, I was saying this to Linda last week, is that it's not necessarily always particularly physically draining. I mean, you can compare it to much harder jobs that people have had throughout the time. It's not like you're working down a fecking mine here, for goodness sake, doing your electrical work. But I find it very mentally exhausting. The constantly thinking about what I've got to do to get through the job. Think the whole thinking on your feet thing. By the time I get home, I'm mentally cooked, and I'll often just sort of doze off for a couple of hours or whatever, or sit there like a vegetable in front of YouTube watching something that's not related to this industry at all. And Ryan sums it up actually by saying that he's also getting shit jobs, running around like a headless chicken, not really achieving anything. And you kind of feel like
Yeah,
that,
I
don't
agree
you?
with
That
that.
you're a busy fool because you're not getting rich out of all this.
No.
But I appreciate, there'll be people watching who either are sort of quiet with their work, thinking, fucking hell, these two are moaning that they're too busy, miserable bastards, or that they want to be in this position because they're training to be where we are now, where we've got in having your own
See,
business and doing that.
I wouldn't say I'm
The grass is always greener. That's the thing.
oh for sure. I wouldn't say I'm too busy. What I'd say is I'm busy clawing myself out of a hole by doing whatever means necessary. Whereas you're busy in a different way. You're busy in a different way. You're busy in a way where you've built your little empire, and now you can't really be asked to keep up with it.
Yes, JMC, it is San Miguel tonight. Third program says open quote question mark. There are software packages out there that make things a lot easier. I use Your Trade Base, not sponsored by Your Trade Base. I did try Tradeify, wasn't for me. But I've been using Your Trade Base for a good number of years now, and that does make authoring quotes and turning them into invoices a lot easier. But it's the authoring quotes that goes down the pan when you're really busy. The last thing I want to do is sit down touting for new work by writing quotes when I've got so many people with credit card in hand going, no, no, come here now. I need you now. And while my calendar's full of people waving their credit card in their hand, going, just come here and do it. I don't feel the need to sort of sit there and go, yes, let me think about this particular job here and sit down and
We're
write it.
two different ends of the spectrum, which is quite good for this conversation. But just changing the subject quickly, I made an inquiry to Powered Now app.
What's that?
It's called Powered Now.
Oh, okay.
It's the job management software.
All right.
Fuck my life, honestly. They blow up your phone two, three times. Hi, it's Jenny here.
Oh,
It's like,
Jesus.
who are you? And they're like, they talk to you like they're your best friend. Oh yeah, you you checked out our app. I'm just giving you a call, see what you're saying. It's like, why are you phoning me three times? I'm at work. So why have I got three missed calls from you?
Yeah, that's
I
a
actually
fucking
got to
red flag.
raving up with them. I got to raving up with them. It's like, yeah, I wanted to make an inquiry about your thing. Send me some gumph. Let me read it. I'll come back to you. You're not going to strong arm me into signing up to your shitty thing. Now I'm definitely not going to. And Powered Now can suck a fat one.
Yeah, well, this is it. If they're trying the strong arm tactics and the hard sell, then that can't be good. What I like about Your Trade Base for me personally was I got in early. When the guy who wrote the software, who was related to someone who was in the trades and sort of wrote the software for them to make their life easier, he'd only just sort of put it out there. So I got in sort of quite near the beginning of that. And it's great to see that they've grown ever since. But my sort of support and everything was from the actual author who'd written it at the beginning. It's not anymore. I'm sure it's a big company now with lots of people, but it was just nice to be in early on something like that, because that sort of job management software I was looking for way back when I started the business back in 2012, and these things just weren't around then. But there's a plethora of them now. But no, you don't want
Yeah.
to be strong. Well, I had a call from Yell this week, Yell.com, if you can even remember such a thing existing. They've got,
The yellow pages.
yeah, I know. They left me some lengthy voicemail about they've got some new thing where they provide leads, but I'm not sure what it was. He was doing some kind of hard sell about
Nonsense.
we pay you for them, or you don't pay anything for them. I don't know. There was something about we're putting our money where our mouths are, which is something I've always complained about with the likes of Yell and stuff. Is that you get these people coming along saying, "Oh yeah, we can get you all this business. Just pay us all this money and we'll do it." It's like, so you get me the business and then I'll pay you the fucking money.
Yeah, it's nonsense. All that my builder stuff, it's okay. You get bits and pieces off it, and I have used it in the past, but it's very expensive for what you get off of it. If
Yeah.
you
And a
like,
lot
you're
of it is a
probably
bunch of fucking tire kickers, just time wasters who are
yeah,
out for
you're probably
lowest
gonna
lowest
throw.
bargain.
You're probably to get 60% out. You'll throw 40% to get 60% out. It's not really worth it. Like just get out there, do the legwork. But for me, the Powered Now really wound me up this week. They really wound me up with that. They did not need to be phoning me 3, 4 times a day, leaving messages, the whole lot. It's like,
Yeah.
bro, like
No,
you're not going to talk me into it.
any kind of hard sell like that now, then you need to get fucked off straight away. So yeah, avoid them.
Like,
Sean's
but if you want
saying,
to give me a free trial, hit me up. Yeah.
Sean's asking if I'm thinking of jacking it in. I'm always thinking of jacking it in, Sean. That's the thing. There's never any happy medium. It's either there's not enough work coming in, or there's far, far too much work coming in, and you just don't feel like you're pleasing anybody most of the time.
And the thing is, for you, you don't want to scale up and do like have another geezer working for you, sending them out doing jobs.
No, Linda's officially on the books as an apprentice, but she pays her own way. But she's here just to get her learning experience. But yeah, I wouldn't go back to taking anybody else on sort of officially on the wages sort of thing. I was never interested in empire building. I'm just here as a one-man band for as long as it lasts. And it's a bit of a shame, really, because when you do build up that sort of reputation and that massive customer database, maybe you can sell it on if you can find a way of doing so at the time when you decide you're going to jack it in, or maybe it all just dies away because when you are the sort of the person, the name, then what is that database worth if you decide you're not going to do it anymore? Well, I am thinking seriously of telling NIC to, yeah, I'm not going to bother anymore. I need to look into that seriously and to find out what the exit time is, the notification for leaving them, and that sort of stuff. And there've been a couple of people in the chat saying none of us should be in these competent person schemes, but I do feel like just being a member of theirs is getting tougher for no good reason. The amount of money they're taking for the amount of Part P notifications I'm putting in, and also,
Look at this fucking prick though. Should have let the podcast go. Ended when Jamie left. This is depressing view of two washed up sparks. How about this? Go
where's that?
suck your mother, prick.
Oh, Twitch Lightning. Well, we did say it was going to be two old farts moaning today, and to be
I
fair,
just think like, why is that a
so we did
helpful
have
comment?
some.
There's such a fucking divvy comment. Like, I'm not in the mood for this.
But it's my fault that it's happening tonight. I dragged Sam on here, and I did say that it's just going to be
I'm
a
just
couple of
not
old men
feeling
moaning.
comments like that. I just don't need it in my life. Do you know what I mean? Don't need it.
I agree with him.
Yeah, I agree with it. Listen, he's not wrong. Like, I'm out here trying to do what I'm doing. Just fucking, it just pisses me off. I just don't need it in my life. I'm having a minor breakdown in my life as it is, and I've got divs like that.
Oh yeah, maybe it's Jamie in disguise, and
No,
both
Jamie wouldn't
accounts.
do that. He's not that much of a dickhead.
Jamie would do it under his own name. In fact, he's probably going to come on in a minute and go, "Oh, you couple of
He wouldn't do
pedophiles."
that. He's not a dickhead. However, um, moving on. Yeah, so what are you gonna do? Do you think you'll jack it in this year?
I don't know because I don't know what I could do. I like the idea of it's the trouble with ending something is that if you're no longer in the game, then it's very hard to keep up with the game. I found that when I changed from IT to electrical many moons ago. My IT
Yeah,
knowledge
IT and
quickly plummeted and became out of date.
yeah, but IT and electrical ain't moving at the pace IT's moving at.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I joined electrical. I thought electrical doesn't move very fast, does it? The laws of physics don't change, but then you've got all the renewables
Yeah,
and
but
various
what
changes.
renewables do you do? When's the last car charger you put in?
The last one I put in was 3 years ago, and I got called out to it this week because it had tripped off some easy piece of shit fucking thing, and there was no obvious reason for it to have tripped off. Did all the testing on it and got it back on, and was like, okay, well, let me know if it happens again. And I'm just hoping I don't get called back out to the fecking thing because what don't want to tell her is that, oh yeah, you know that car charger that's only 3 years old, it's fucked now, and you've got to change it.
You know what's funny though? Like Jamie was right when he says you've got to find your niche. Do you feel like maybe just go into a niche now? Like you're quite like you're a bit of like you'll do any sort of work that comes your way that piques your interest. What about streamlining into something very specific
Well, you
like
could do,
others have
yeah.
done?
That's always an option, is to specialize in something, to say, okay, well, let's just get rid of, if you don't want to be doing the chasing walls and cutting up floorboards thing, let's get rid of the installation work and go just into EICRs, fault finding, that kind of stuff. And there's nothing stopping something like that from happening.
See,
There's never
that's
been a particular niche where I thought, yes, I'd like to do this all the time. One of the nice things about this job is the variety, especially with the house bashing, which I know gets sort of frowned upon by a lot of people. But I think there's an art to house bashing.
there is.
You're treating somebody's pride and joy with the respect it deserves, hopefully. Not if you look on certain social media accounts, but you've got to get their dream vision for whatever they want working in a way that's sympathetic to their environment. You're not causing too much decorative damage. You're not sticking fucking trunking everywhere. You're getting it done in a way where at the end of the day they can step back and go, I'm really happy with that. Cheers. No, I'll take the money. Thank you very much. So yeah, it's I like that. I like seeing the customers' happy faces at the end of the day, and the sheer variety of work, and even something um
See,
repetitive
I feel like
like
you're more like smart homes like would do you.
no, no,
Like
no, I
being
don't want.
ITE and stuff
No,
like
no,
that.
no, no, no. I left IT for a good reason. I don't want to involve. The trouble with that sort of stuff is it moves so quickly, and unless you're specializing in a particular manufacturer or a particular product, if you're not dealing with something particularly regularly, and we found this with intruder alarms. We fitted a couple of Yale wireless intruder alarms, not our choice. That's what the customers wanted. We fitted one, and then 6 months later we fitted the other, but the software had changed so much between the two. It's like it was almost like having to sort of start again in learning how it was supposed to be installed and how it was supposed to be configured and how it was supposed to be supported. It's like, well,
Do you know
the
what though,
things have to
mate?
change this quickly.
Like some of the people in here saying like more YouTube stuff. Maybe if you put like wound down like the sparking, done what you wanted rather than what you have to, and done more like maybe took the YouTube more seriously, started earning off the YouTube bit more seriously.
The trouble is, there's not enough variety of stuff out there to produce content on, not related to this industry anyway. There's only so many EV chargers, fuse board changes, or rules and regs
Yeah, you
changes you
say that
can
though.
cover.
You say that though. I still manage to chat shit once a week, mostly
Yeah,
about
but
the
Lightning
industry.
Sparks doesn't like it, does he?
I know. It's lucky I don't listen. I'm not even getting into it. I'm very touchy at the moment.
I mean,
I
Micro
swear to
Electric stuff
God.
says training could be an option. Yeah, the trouble with training is um, nobody wants to do it for 16-year-old brats for a start. No, not in like a further education college. I imagine the red tape and the pay would be shite, and so would the job satisfaction be. But perhaps private training um, could be something of interest to some of us. I don't
I
know.
would quite like to.
Open
One
a
of the
new
things.
competent person scheme, says JMC. You know what? I did think that. I thought if I leave NIC, I might just come up with some bullshit logo and say I'm a member of
Do
this.
it.
As long as I
Do you
put
remember
on my
when that
website, this is
Gary Adler
bullshit.
did it? Do you remember Gary Adler did it?
Did he? Who's
Yeah,
going?
he did. Like for those who don't know, Gary Adler was. Is it Adler? Yeah, he wrote a book.
Oh yeah, yeah. He does that podcast. I was on it once.
Was you?
Yeah, yeah. Shit, what's it called?
In
Lights
the
out or something.
lights,
Like
on the lights or something.
hit the lights, hit the
Hit the
light
lights.
podcast. Yeah, it was a few
Yeah,
years ago.
and he started up a competent person scheme.
Okay.
That went well.
What was
So,
it called?
mate, I can't remember. Maybe you should try one.
I remember someone tried setting one up called Bretty a few years ago.
I remember that as well. Some dude who set that up.
I
Yeah.
think it was during COVID. He was very dissatisfied with the fact that NIC didn't give him a discount. What is my reading of it? I might be wrong.
No,
Didn't give him a
he was
discount
about way
for the fact
before
that he couldn't get
COVID.
out and do the work, but was still being paid charged full price by NIC. So he set up his own CPS, and I sent him a few questions about how it would work
I invited him
because
on.
oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not yet.
yeah, no, he was he didn't respond to any questions, but he was sort of putting it out there, going, "Well, if you're not a member of Bretty, then you're not a proper Spark." And I'm like, "Okay, I've got a few questions about membership requirements and vetting. I'd like to ask you," and never got any response back from him. But you can appreciate the frustration, though, can't you?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the thing that winds me up the most about the NIC is, right, is they make up their own rules like they are like you'll get an inspector come round and say everything needs to be doubled up when you're second fixing. Uh, But that's not a reg, is it?
Who's saying that to you?
Like I've heard that NIC inspectors expect you when you're second
Ah.
fixing everything to double over everything
Well, this is why I don't want to do another fucking assessment with him. My inspection last year was just a fucking shit show, and
because that's not a
not
reg,
that the
is it?
guy was out of order or anything. It's just it just felt like they were trying everything they could to find fault, and it's just wearying because you know that you're not doing a bad job, and you know that there are big companies out there also under that same NIC or NAPIT or whatever umbrella who are doing shit work and seemingly getting away with it. Or
Yeah, and it's like if you don't double it over, that's you're going to get pulled on that. What was the other thing though that we got put? And this complete misunderstanding of fucking metal cable ties and where you should put them is just it's just ludicrous, and it's the myths that are put out by NIC inspectors when they come around and inspect stuff, scare the life out of the people who are running the organization, like running the electrical companies, and then now they think that's oh, that's in the regs. You've got to do it like that. It's like it drives me mad. These fundamental misunderstandings of what the regulations say, and then the NIC inspector comes along with best practice, and then all of a sudden the best practice is now become a reg, and it's like no, you're fucking wrong. And like, well, the NIC say that, so that's now you got to make a load more work for yourself just to fucking please some NIC inspector. Piss off.
I don't mind being inspected. I'd rather they did it a slightly different way than the way they do. But it seems to me that the uh, the inspections and the costs are getting more complicated and going up. And I'm just thinking, I don't do enough Part P work to justify it. So,
The thing is, what could an NIC inspector come and catch you out on? Nothing. So why
oh,
try?
they can, yeah, they can, and sometimes the criticism is valid. And I'm not saying that I'm fucking perfect by any means. They might point something out, and I'll go, you know what, you're right. I hadn't considered that. But it's just a wearying experience when you feel like they're just out to get you. They're not out to work with you. It's the way I feel about it. It's not like they're there to work with you. They're there to try and get you. And that's the problem. That is it in a nutshell. If they were there, if I felt that they were coming in and working with me as um, we need to look at this, or this is different, or this has changed, or we just need to check your knowledge, whatever. Fine, fine. But when it just feels like every single little thing is being nitpicked, as though it's a black mark and the old red pen's coming out at the end of the day. Oh, here's another one. You just kind of think, oh, do I need this? Do I need this
You
hassle?
don't.
I'm paying for this hassle, and for what?
No, I hate all that. I hate all that, and I hate the company I'm working for at the moment. Not the company I'm working for, but the company they're subbing off are just coming out with these things, and you're just like, that's wrong, and they're like, yeah, but that's what the NIC say, and it's like, no, they don't. Some div at the NIC has said that, and now you took it as gospel, and that's what we have to do. Drives me mad.
Lindsay R wants to know who would win in a naked wrestle, me or you. We should do that on camera one day, Sam.
We can do, but I would definitely win that because I used to wrestle, so
Okay.
I'd win. And I'm fatter than you and way heavier, and David Saver's actually tiny.
Is it Mark the Sparky's birthday?
Oh, happy birthday, Mark.
Out for
Barely
birthday
messages
drinks
me
this
back anymore.
evening. Oh, well, many happy returns. Then to answer somebody else's question, that's one of those dual screen laptop things.
Oh, look at you, Mr.
Yeah, yeah.
Posh. You've had a bit of an upgrade in your office, mate.
Linda bought it actually, and then decided that she didn't want to use it. So I haven't bought it off her yet. I must do that. Just give her the money.
Not. Right, let's get onto merch quickly. I just want to get onto merch and address some merch
You
situation.
address the merch. I'm going to grab a San Miguel out this fridge here.
Yes, please do. So merch, I'm working through refunds at the moment. I have to work through them a couple at a time. So get some money in, pay off some. Get some money in, pay off some. If you want your refund quicker, just do a chargeback. It's covered. That side is covered. So if you do a chargeback, you'll get your money back today. It's not a problem. As far as getting a full refund from myself, just I'm working through them. So I'm working through them as fast as I can. But again, it's the situation I'm in. I would, if I was you, just do chargeback, job done, no problems. Um, I'm never gonna do merch again. Um, and if I do, it would be just a very limited run, and it would be for very few people. I wouldn't have. Well, I'll probably only ever do it for myself again. It's
Does
just not
this
worth it.
mean my Electricians podcast wanking chair T-shirt is a limited edition special that
It is, mate.
only me and Ryan have probably got? Don't
No,
know
I
if
think a
anybody
few
else
people
bought
have
one.
got them. A few people have got them. I don't actually have one, but I do have the graphics one.
Both are the best. I can't wear mine anywhere, but
Um, right. Listen, I think we're going to wrap this up, Savo. I've had a jolly old chat, mate.
but it was nice to talk, old man. I'm glad you came on tonight, and even
I
though
am.
some didn't like it, but it was nice to have a little chat anyway.
It was, mate. It's good to have a chat. I'm trying to keep the podcast on course. It's very difficult because I am completely strung out all of the time. It's hard. And I could have really done without it tonight because I've got to go away tomorrow. So I've missed saying goodnight to my child. Annoying
Sorry
shit.
about that.
Yeah. So it's shit like that. Yeah, maybe it's a good shout. Keep your chin up. Yeah, nice one. Right, listen, I'm out because I might be able to go and quickly give my child a kiss before I have to go away for another week. Right, thank you, people. Love you always. Savo, thank you very much for coming on tonight, big man.
Good night, Mongs.
Good night, chatmongs. Oh well, goodbye, chatmongs. Right, let's get out of here. Boom. No, that one. Cool.